Stripe has shut down your account and they're keeping all your money. So this is a question and inquiries that I get daily. As the founder of Direct Paynet, I help thousands of merchants navigate away from Stripe and get reliable payment processing. Today, I'm going to tell you what you can do in order to ensure that you get your money back as quickly as possible from Stripe and to ensure that your business is up and running with reliable processing. So first of all, if you get a notice from Stripe saying that they're reviewing your account, they're suspending your account, they're holding 20, 30% in reserve, or even worse, they have shut down your account and they're keeping all your money, then it is very important as a first step to make sure that you find an alternative for your payment processing so your business can continue running. Now, I understand when this happens, your first inclination would be, to go after Stripe and try to get them to reopen and so forth. I will tell you with almost certainty, 99% of the time, it will take you a lot longer to figure things out with Stripe than it will be to get yourself an alternative processing solution. So keep that in mind. And I will link a video down below of some options that you have in order to get yourself processing. One of which is my company, Direct Paynet. We work with thousands of online merchants, whether in direct response or high risk industries. And we help you get reliable payment processing and not sweating at the end of the month if you get a couple of extra disputes. So now in terms of getting your money back from Stripe, so I'm going to read to you an inquiry that I got by email from somebody that's actually suffering from this and having some major issues. And I'm sure, whether your business is big or small, whatever amount they're holding it is usually pivotal for you to get your money back as soon as possible so you can continue operating. So you'll hear how distressed he is by what's happening. Stripe previously said that my account was high risk and decided to hold all funds for 120 days after suspending my account. They are holding over 6 figures. The release date was 6 days ago. I still haven't gotten the funds. I've been trying to reach out to them via email, social media, direct messages, but I'm not getting any responses. Even when I replied to their legal email, they told me to ask my lawyer to contact them. I haven't done anything illegal. I did have a few extra disputes, but I don't understand why they're keeping my money. I'm feeling quite helpless currently. Is there a solution to this? So yes, there is a solution. And the solution is really to do something a little bit different than what most people do, which is DM them or go through social media or send emails. One thing, obviously, is I'm really sorry you're going through this situation because I understand as a business owner, if somebody's holding my money or somebody is not allowing me to operate, how frustrating that can be. Once you kind of calm down from those initial emotions, the first thing to do is to really take action to try to get your money back from Stripe. Now, first things first, if this just happened to you and you're listening to this and you're like, hey, they told me this a couple of days ago, I would not wait for the full term before asking for some money back. So now this particular individual waited the 120 days and is now wondering where his money is. Now, if you're in the situation where they suspended your account a couple of days ago and they're holding all your money, you can still take the actions that I mentioned down below in order to try to get your money back a little sooner. So now I'm going to give you my best advice on how to do this, which is to write them a letter, send it by physical mail. These days we're very used to the online world and communicating via emails and direct messages and social media and so forth. So they get a lot of inquiries like this, and you might have been missed, or maybe, the AI picked you up and you're speaking to a machine. You're not actually speaking to a human, so they don't know the urgency of this. So what you want to do is you want to get in front of an actual human being, which is difficult with Stripe because they make it very difficult for you to reach out to them and to call them and so forth. So your best bet is really to send them a letter via snail mail. Make sure that it's registered with tracking so you can track it, and make sure there's a signature required. So what that means is that somebody at the Stripe office is going to have to sign off. So that somebody physically got it. And obviously most of the time when somebody receives a package, they will open it and at least read it. So at least at this point, you're going to be dealing with a human being at a Stripe head office. So that's, already 50% of the way there, because most of the time when you're communicating with them, you're speaking to an AI bot, or you're speaking to people who are in lower levels of customer service that really have no authority and don't know what to answer you. So they just give you some canned responses.
I'm so sorry we can't help you. Good luck.
A couple of things that you need to hit on that letter. I'm going to list them out. You have to keep in mind, first and foremost, leave emotions out of it. If you're frustrated, if you're upset, if you're angry, this is not what you want to relay on that letter, right? We want to just give them some facts and give them some solutions in order to get to our resolution. We don't want to tell them how angry we are or, threaten them or anything like that. We want to just, present our case, explain what we want as a resolution, and then give them our contact information. So first of all, make sure this is a professional letter. Use good stock paper. If you have letterhead, use it. If you don't, just go find a letterhead on Google, make it look really professional. A lot of times when they get letters from lawyers, they act on them very quickly because these are professional letters. So you want your letter to look like a legal letter, to look like maybe you got help from a lawyer drafting it, right? So you want your letter to really look like a legit letter that you took time and that you had some advice in order to write that letter. Now, number one thing, like I said, you want to maybe put it on some formal letterhead of your company. You need to include your name, your company name, your account number, your business address, and all kind of the little details about your account on Stripe. So you want to include that. You want to put that in your header so they can easily identify you. You want to also put your contact information. So at the bottom of the letter, you're going to say, you can reach me by email, and include your email. You can include your phone number, which is great because then hopefully they get somebody to call you. And you should also include your physical mailing address. So that way you can have all avenues open for them to reach out to you. Now, in the body of the letter, what we want to do is explain to them when the account was suspended, and don't use approximate dates. Go into your files, make sure that you know when they shut you down, how much money exactly to the penny that they are holding. If they did promise you to release the funds on a specific date and that date has passed, then we want to include that date, and we want to include any interactions that we had. So for example, if you spoke to Stripe 5 times or you sent 6 emails, you want to list those out, that you contacted them on this date by email, did not get a response. You sent a direct message or social media request or whatever, and then you got a response that was a canned response that didn't resolve your problem. So you want to list that out so they know that you're quite organized and that you have all that information on every time that you try to collect your money and every time you try to reach out to them. That will show that you're very organized and obviously that you're running a legit business. Now, I do want to mention a little caveat. If you were doing something illegal in the sense of like obviously selling anything you shouldn't be selling, or selling something and then your website was showing something else, this may not be applicable. You may need to get a lawyer at that point to get your money. But if you were legit, selling a product or service and, it was just some disputes or they didn't like your business, then obviously this works. Now, getting back to that letter, what you want to also include after you list out the dates and the times that you tried to reach out to them, what you want to do is if we have not reached that date, for example, it's in a couple of months from now, you want to try to ask them to release 50% of your money. Now, you're going to say, Maria, I want all of my money. And I get it. In a perfect world, you would, but Stripe will want to keep some of your money in case there's chargebacks or refunds that come in. So if you try to ask for all of it, they probably won't give you any of it. So your best bet is to try to ask for 50% of the money that they're holding, unless, of course, they have given you a date of release. For example, like the person who sent me that email, they gave him a date last week. They still haven't released. At that point, you want to ask for 100% of your money. But for now, if you're in the situation that you're not, the date has not passed, or it's been a week or so since they suspended your account, what you want to do is you want to ask for 50% of your money just to get the ball rolling.
No, please do. That's a great start.
Now, the second thing that you want to do is, like I said, you don't want to include emotion, but you want to include some facts. Like, for example, that your business is in jeopardy, that you may actually default, and you may have to let some employees go due to the lack of cash flow in your business because of Stripe holding your funds. Now, obviously, in some situations, this may be stretching the truth, but most of the time, if they're holding your money, you're in some kind of financial distress, especially if you're listening to this video. So explain to them some consequences that are going to happen to your business because of what they're doing. And that will push them a little bit to pay more attention and to be able to try to find some kind of payment plan or resolution. Now, another thing, to make your letter legit, you want to print out that letter, sign it in wet ink. Like, grab a pen. I know that we don't use pens that often, but grab a blue ink pen and sign your name. Fold it up, put it in an envelope, and I'm going to put down below the address details for Stripe, where you can mail the letter if you're using Stripe US. Stripe also has an Irish office. So if you're using Stripe in Europe, you might want to go through the Irish office. If you're using Stripe US, then you can use the address that I let down below. So make sure that you mail it. Like I said, don't forget to put it in registered mail with tracking and signature required. It is going to cost you a little bit of money, but trust me, you will get in front of their eyes a lot faster than trying to email them and direct message them. Now, one thing, before you actually put that envelope in the mail, you want to scan a copy of that letter and you want to email it to them. So also, just as a backup to the snail mail, you want to email it to them, and you want to email it to notices@stripe.com. Now, depending on when you're watching this video, the addresses and the information I'm providing may change, because Stripe does change stuff from time to time. But for now, you can post it to notices@stripe.com and explain that you've sent over that letter and you're hoping to get a response shortly. This is your best bet in order to get your funds back. I will tell you that pretty much most of the people who contact me that I give these instructions to will come back successful with at least part of their money. So this is a pretty successful strategy if Stripe is holding your money. And the sooner that you do this, after they close your account, the better. So act quickly and don't let them hold your money for six months or beyond. As per their terms and conditions, just to let you know, they say that they can hold your money for 9 months, which is an excessive amount of time for any business, especially an online one that has to move quickly and buy traffic and so forth. So move on this as quickly as possible. Don't forget to get your backup solution so you can make sure that your business is up and running. And if you need help with that, you can go to directpaynet.com and reach out to me or a member of my team who'd be happy to help you get a backup solution to your Stripe account. Thank you so much for watching. And if you have any questions, or if this has happened to you before, please feel free to write a comment down below, and I'd be happy to help you with more tips and tricks on how to avoid Stripe jail. Have yourself a great day.